to put you on the spot right away, and I'm going to ask you to, in one word, describe yourself. Okay? So this can be, basketball, it could be personal, whatever. But what's one word you would use to describe yourself?
Outgoing.
Okay.
Yes.
Give me an example.
You can always hear me, no matter where you are, no matter where I am. You'll always hear me before you see me.
Okay.
And I definitely think I get that honestly from my mom, because she was head cheerleader all high school, and I think it was just passed down, except I'm basketball.
Yeah, and I think we see that in your play, and I think that's a really good description, Chris, because you are not only outgoing personally, but on the court. You bring a lot of energy to the court. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, and I thank God for that, because every day before my games, I pray that God gives me the energy to go out and just help my teammates, and I pray that it's contagious to other people too, so we can all play with energy too.
Coming off the bench for us at this point, I know you started once or twice this year, but is that kind of your role?
I kind of like it, because it's like a secret weapon,
Yeah.
You got your starters, and then it's like, okay, you're playing, but then you bring me in, and it's like a whole new, thing that's going on. So I like it. I've learned to embrace it, and wherever God puts me, that's where I want to glorify Him. So whether I'm starting, whether I'm, off the bench, whether I don't play at all, I just want to glorify Him wherever I am on the court.
I want to talk to you about that in a moment, but for basketball for the moment, you like coming off and giving that energy. Is it easier this year than it was last year? Do you feel better on the court?
Yeah, I can say experience is a lot better. Freshman year, I was kind of comfortable, but this year I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable, because I know the fast-paced game. I kind of know what to expect. My teammates, my team has helped me so much this year, because we all get along and it's great, and they're good encouragers too, because like how they play, who's going to cut where, and it's just better playing with each other.
Yeah, your second year, did you help some of the younger kids, the freshman kids?
I think so. I help them more off the court than on the court, I'd say. I'm pretty encouraging, but when I see, like, somebody's down, I'll shoot them a text message, or, after the game, I'll give them a pat on the back, or I try to do the behind-the-scenes things with them. But they're great. I'm so glad they came. They're so fun, and they're awesome.
We're visiting with sophomore Chris Keys as we get ready for the Truman game, but you're hearing it here at halftime, obviously.
Yes.
How about in school? The same thing? Are you outgoing in school? Do you look to help other people in classes, that sort of thing?
Well, most of the time, I'm the kid that doesn't understand what's going on. So
Really?
Yes, I don't really help a lot of people. I'm usually the one getting help. But I'm usually the one that's the first to email the teacher. If I don't get something, I'm the first to raise my hand, because I feel like if you don't know something, you should ask.
Yeah.
And I'm always the one that's like, people are like, okay, we have questions, so we're going to ask Christian to ask the teacher, because we know that she'll ask. And so, yeah, I love that. I'll ask.
Well, see, that surprises me. Is school hard for you? I know Jewell is hard, but is it hard for you?
I'd say the reading, it's not hard. It's just sometimes I get so distracted with other things I want to do. It's just hard to stay concentrated.
Okay.
And definitely with basketball and everything, like, I just want to be in the gym, or I just want to be out with my friends, and I need to just learn how to sit down and stop procrastinating and just read.
Okay.
There's a lot of reading.
Yeah, there really is.
Yes.
Okay, your major is what?
Psychology.
And what are you going to do with that?
Right now, I think I want to be a marriage counselor, but that really changes by the wind. I want to be something different every day.
Okay.
I know I want to play overseas with basketball first, and then I think I want to go into something with psychology. And I'm thinking marriage counseling, because a lot of my friends have relationship problems, and they usually come to me about it, and I think I do a solid job.
Okay. Well, maybe it could be an amateur thing, or I don't know. You could do that when you...
my free time or something. I don't know.
Exactly. But I heard you talking on the bus the other day, and you were explaining to somebody that you've got a lot of names. And we know in the roster you're Christian Benton Keys.
Yes.
You like to be called Chris Keys. You told me one time. But give me the what is your entire name?
Christian Alexis Alexandra Benton Keys.
That's a lot of names.
It's a lot of names.
It sounds like the name of a princess or something.
It does. I like it. I love it. But yeah, I love both my middle names. My first name I try to cut it short, because Chris Keys has a nice ring to it.
You're still okay with me doing the Chris Keys?
Yes,
okay,
I love
good.
the Chris Keys.
Okay, very good.
Got a nice ring to it.
Chris Keys is our guest. You were talking about your mom a little bit ago, but tell me about your folks, because we've seen your mom and dad on TV a couple of times during some of our breaks, and they are wildly enthusiastic about you, number one, and about basketball, number two.
Yes. Okay, so my mom, her name is Natalie Keys. She's a Mary Kay consultant, and she also does, what does she do? She does Spanish, like, after school for teaching kids. Oh, and she's not a consultant. She's a director. She likes for
Okay.
me to speak that into existence
Sure.
because that's what she's aiming for.
I see. Okay.
Also, my dad, he's an electrical engineer. He's extremely smart, extremely. But he's trying to become a middle school teacher because he likes kids and he's really good with them. And he's usually the one that he's laid back. My mom is the one that's loud. He just sits there and, just claps.
I can't imagine. I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
Okay, then I have 3 little siblings, Kennison, Kevin, and Cameron. Kennison is my little sister. She's 9. Let me not get it wrong because she'll be mad at me.
Sure.
There's Kevin, he's 6, and then there's Cameron, he's 4. I think I got that right. And they are all just enthusiastic, loud. They're very, you see them running around the gym sometimes. I mean, they're everywhere.
Does that bug their older sister?
A little bit. Like, it was hard to get used to because I was the only child for 11 years. And then they all came. Like, they're all kind of close in age, so they just all, popped up. And I'm just like, okay. I had to get used to it because I babysat a lot.
Sure, I'll bet.
So definitely that worked on my patience. And I think I'm a very patient person because of them now. I contribute that to them. But yeah, it was hard to keep up with them at first. But now I think I'm learning it. I think I am.
Are you conscious of being a role model for them?
I am, because especially for Kennison, she copies literally everything I do. Everything. Like, I'll walk in, I'll do my hair one day, and then I'll walk in her room, her hair's the same the next day, or she's wearing one of my scarves or something. So, yeah, just everything. I know that she's watching me, and especially my little brothers, too. I mean, they mostly try to watch my dad just because it's easier for them to relate to. But with Kennison, I try to spend time with her and definitely get her in the Word, because if it wasn't for God, I would be in a bad place right now. Because I had some rough years. So I'm definitely going to try to, get her in the church and, just help her build her spiritual life first before anything. That's what I really want to help her with. But, yeah.
Our guest is sophomore Chris Keys, and
Yes.
we've been talking about, and you've been talking about your relationship with God. And I want to talk about that because I think you are maybe one of the most, you do not hesitate to show people and try to share that with people. And how is it received mostly? I mean, is it frustrating sometimes? Is it glorifying sometimes? How do you find it?
From other people, I think sometimes if they don't know me and they just hear me talking, it's kind of intimidating, because a lot of Christians, they come off as judgmental. Like, if you're anything but perfect, they think Christians will judge you and, you're a bad person. And I think it just takes time getting to know me, knowing that I'm not judging you. I'm, sinful just like you are, And once people realize that, I think it's easier for them to open up to me. I think it is. Because I try to be open-minded because I know the type of person I am. I know the mistakes I've made. And so I think that does help me be more relatable to people, even though sometimes it's intimidating. But I think they love it. I think they do.
Is that a family thing? I mean, does your family help you with that? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Ever since I was younger, I've been surrounded in the church. Like, my Nana is a co-pastor at the church. Always been. My mom was a choir director in the youth ministry. And, my dad, my grandfather, I call him Dadu. He's always involved in the church too, always. And so even when I was little, I was always going to church. And I think it was about when I was 10, I started going because I wanted to, not because I had to. Because at first they made me. They're like, giddy up, we're going to church.
Like most little kids. Yeah.
Yes. And then, especially since my mom was the youth minister at the church, it really helped me to have fun with the youth ministry. And I really got involved in that. And I don't know, I just started to love to go to church. And yeah, I think that's what's helped me now, because in college, nobody makes you go to church. It's your decision now. And I still have made the choice to still build a relationship with God. And I think that's really wonderful. And I just want to teach that to my little siblings, because without God, we would all be nothing. And I'm just so humbled by it. So,
well, we're humbled watching you play basketball, and it's always great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending the time with us.
Of course, yes, of course.
Chris Keys has been our guest, and we're back with more in just a moment.